To treat my husband's cancer, I called every relative and friend to borrow money, and while caring for him in the hospital, I also worked 5 jobs. My mother, heartbroken for me, secretly went to a shady hospital and sold one of her kidneys, but unfortunately passed away due to a surgical infection. My father, to help me earn money, drove a taxi day and night and fell off an overpass late at night. Not even his body could be found. Even so, Levi Fu still couldn't be saved. However, at the funeral, my in-laws sued me in court, demanding that I reimburse the 200,000 yuan in medical expenses they had paid for my husband's treatment. As his wife, you have the duty to provide support, so you must repay this money. In just 1 month, I lost my parents and my husband, left penniless and burdened with a huge debt. When I used my last 10 yuan to buy chrysanthemums to pay tribute to Levi Fu, I saw him holding a glamorous woman in his arms, driving a luxury car. I welcomed my beaming in-laws aboard. Our plan is simply perfect. Not only did we cure the illness, but we even managed to swindle her parents' compensation money. From now on, I won't have to put up with that old woman's attitude anymore. I'm going to start a new life with my darling. I was so enraged that I fainted. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day when Levi Fu was first diagnosed with cancer. This time, I will make your life a living hell. Oh dear, how could someone so young get cancer? What are we going to do? Mother-in-law Dao Dingxiang kept slapping her thigh with the medical report in hand. Darling, I'm still young. I don't want to die yet. The doctor said there's a chance I can be saved. You have to help me. Levi Fu tightly held my hand, the panic in his eyes unmistakably real. Witnessing everything unfolding before me, I realized I had been reborn. In my previous life, upon hearing the news of Levi Fu's cancer, I immediately promised I would never give up on him. Doing everything in my power to raise money for his treatment, I sold my house and car at home and moved into the hospital with a folding bed to provide care. During the day, I took care of Levi Fu at the hospital, offering all kinds of encouragement and trying my best to cheer him up. At night, I went to KTV to sell alcohol. Despite not being a drinker, I forced myself to drink bottle after bottle with clients just to earn a little more in tips, but cancer is like a bottomless pit. With each round of chemotherapy and radiation, money flowed out like water. In just a short month, the money for buying a house and a car was almost gone. I had no choice but to borrow money from all my relatives and friends, not even sparing my former rivals. I gave up my dignity, all for the sake of giving Levi Fu a chance to live. The sudden immense pressure turned my hair white in an instant, and at less than 30 years old, I looked more exhausted than someone in their 50s. My parents felt sorry for me and often turned away to secretly wipe their tears. To help share my burden, my mother secretly went to a shady hospital and had one of her kidneys removed without telling me. Mom is old and can't help you much. Take this money to get through the emergency. When I received the heavy stack of money, I immediately took it to the hospital, completely unaware of my mother's pale face. When I saw her again, Mom had already been hospitalized due to an infection. Don't spend money on me. I don't want treatment. That same day, Mom passed away, leaving me no chance to save her. I sat dazed in the hallway, wondering how to break the news to Dad, when the phone call brought the tragic news from the other end. In order to raise money for me, my father drove a taxi day and night. Late one night, while passing over a viaduct, he crashed through the guardrail and fell into the river. The current was so swift that even his body was swept away without a trace. I collapsed on the spot, my cries echoing through the entire hallway, but reality didn't allow me to grieve for long. After hastily arranging my parents' funeral, I immediately returned to the hospital to take care of Levi Fu. When I was in despair, my in-laws took out 200,000 yuan and urged me not to give up. They stayed at the hospital to care for him, while I worked 5 jobs a day, sleeping only 2 hours, and poured all the money I earned into the hospital. Even so, Levi Fu still passed away. When the pain is at its extreme, one cannot even cry. I numbly arranged his funeral for him, but at the funeral, my in-laws, who had always encouraged me, suddenly changed their attitude. As his wife, you had the duty to save him. We didn't. You must repay the 200,000 yuan we spent on our son. I refused, so they took me to court. In the end, The court ruled that they could take back the entire 200,000 yuan in compensation that my parents had received in just half a year. I lost my parents and my husband, and was left penniless, but when I bought a bouquet of chrysanthemums with my last $10 to pay tribute to Levi Fu, I witnessed a scene I could never forget. The supposedly deceased Levi Fu was holding a glamorous woman, sitting in the passenger seat of a luxury car, smiling as he welcomed his parents into the vehicle. This plan of ours is simply perfect. Not only did it cure the illness, but we even managed to get our hands on her parents' compensation money. I never have to put up with that old woman's attitude again. I'm going to start a new life with my baby. Tears fell silently. So Levi Fu wasn't dead after all. It turned out all of this was their scheme. That feeling of suffocating pain still lingers in my heart, hard to calm. Since heaven has given me a second chance at life, I must change the fate of myself and my family. I held Levi Fu's hand tightly, looking into his eyes and speaking earnestly. Don't worry, this time I will definitely take good care of you. Family members, don't worry, as long as we actively pursue treatment, there is still a high chance of recovery. The doctor's words brought us back to reality. In my previous life, the moment I heard the word cancer, I panicked and dismissed the doctor's words as mere comfort. Now it seems the doctor was right. With active treatment, recovery is possible. After completing the hospitalization procedures, my in-laws pulled me aside with grave expressions. Dao Dingxiang, Ria, all these years, we've all seen how Levi feels about you. Now that he's sick, it's the time he needs you the most. You absolutely cannot give up on him. Father-in-law Fu Liang, Levi is still so young. Even if we have to sell everything we own, we must get him treated. As the daughter-in-law of the Fu family and Levi's wife, you must take on the responsibilities you should bear. They spoke with such righteous conviction, shifting all the responsibility onto me in just a few words, as if the person lying in the hospital bed wasn't their son. Seeing that I didn't respond, Fu Liang continued, sell the house and the car if you have to. You should find a job. I have a friend who runs a nightclub, and I've already arranged it. You can go work there. You should also spend more time chatting with Levi. He'll recover faster if he's in a better mood. If you really can't manage, come to us. We're getting older and can only help so much. But it's mainly up to you. In my previous life, I was so immersed in sorrow that I completely overlooked the subtle intentions of these two people, trying to make me take on all the responsibilities while they shirk theirs. No way, Mom, Dad, you're absolutely right. Levi Fu is sick now and really needs care. How could selling just our car and house be enough? You should hurry and sell your house too. Then borrow some money from friends and relatives to pay the medical bills as soon as possible. That's what really matters. Levi Fu is your own son. You won't just ignore him, right? After hearing my words, the elderly couple's faces suddenly turned very grim, their eyes evasive as they stammered and refused to respond. After dealing with them, I immediately called my parents. Hearing the familiar voices on the other end of the line again, my tears instantly fell. Mom, hello, Ria, what's wrong? Hearing my choked voice, my mom immediately panicked. What's wrong, my dear daughter? Did someone bully you? Tell us, and we'll stand up for you. My dad, are you tired from work? Come home for dinner. I'll make your favorite sweet and sour pork ribs. Seeing that my parents were okay, my anxious heart finally settled. Great, in this life, Mom hasn't had an accident yet, and there's still time for everything. Nothing's wrong. I just miss you all. I'll come back to see you once this period is over. After hanging up the phone, I immediately began taking stock of the family's assets. The house and car need to be sold, but I'll take every penny that belongs to me. As I approached the door of Levi Fu's hospital room, a sweet, delicate female voice came from inside. Levi, I heard you have cancer. What am I going to do then? Don't worry. The doctor said it's in the early stage. With active treatment, the chance of recovery is as high as 95%. It's just a matter of spending some money. What should we do then? Will Sister Ria take out the money to treat you? Levi Fu's tone was full of certainty. She definitely will. Let her raise the money for my treatment, and then I'll take the chance to fake my death and escape. Then we won't have to worry about her reactions anymore, and we can be together openly. Even though I had long known about their plan, hearing these words spoken directly from Levi Fu's mouth still sent a chill down my spine. I recognized the woman in the hospital room. She was Gu, Levi Fu's distant cousin. 2 or 3 years ago, she came to seek refuge with Levi Fu. And I even helped her find a place to live and a job. Now it seems they had already been involved with each other back then. Levi Fu was my first love. We met, fell in love, and got married. I thought we were a match made in heaven. Little did I know that this relationship had long been riddled with problems. Fortunately, it's not too late to get out now. Divorce is inevitable, and I will take back everything that belongs to me, not leaving a single thing behind. A week later, while I was organizing things at home, the hospital suddenly called. Levi Fu's condition has worsened. When I arrived at the hospital, my in-laws were already in tears by the bedside. As soon as they saw me, they rushed over and grabbed my hand. "Rhea, you're finally here. The doctor said Levi needs surgery immediately. Please go and pay the fee right away." I pulled my hand away in disgust and wiped off the tears that had gotten on it with a tissue. "I don't have the money. The house and car haven't been sold yet, and my savings aren't enough." "Don't you still have savings? Hurry up and pay it." Dao Dingxiang suddenly became agitated. "Why haven't they been sold yet? Didn't I already help you find a channel for it?" I suddenly became alert, in my previous life, to quickly raise money. I sold the house and car at half the market price to someone introduced by my mother-in-law, but this time, I wasn't in a hurry to act. Now it seems that the person introduced by my in-laws was likely part of their plan. Levi Fu's illness requires so much money. Shouldn't I compare options carefully and get a good price to pay for his treatment? The situation is urgent now. You should quickly take out the money you have for his treatment. The person lying in there is your own son. You wouldn't be reluctant to spend the money, would you? Fu Liang was so infuriated by me that his face turned red. Yet he dared not vent his anger. In the end, urged by the doctor, he reluctantly went to pay the bill while grumbling. The surgery was very successful, and Levi Fu was out of danger once again. However, after the invasive surgery, Levi Fu's condition took a sharp turn for the worse. His hair was shaved off, and his face became deathly pale. After all, we had lived together for 5 years. Seeing him in such a lifeless state, my heart still stirred with a faint ripple of emotion. I sighed. As long as they stopped making trouble, the money from dividing the property plus my in-laws' savings should be enough to save his life. At that moment, Dao Dingxiang suddenly, out of character, took my hand and said warmly, "Our Fu family is truly blessed by our ancestors to have a daughter-in-law like you. I always said Levi made no mistake in marrying you." I was puzzled, wondering what they were up to again. Sure enough, bad news came that very night. My parents had an accident. I rushed home and found out that my dad had sprained his ankle while going downstairs, and my mom had also fallen while trying to help him. Fortunately, it wasn't serious. "Dear, how could you not tell us about such a big incident? If it weren't for your mother-in-law calling, I wouldn't have known about it. We haven't saved much money over the years, so just take that 500,000 yuan for now, and don't worry about paying us back." I was shocked. "What? My mother-in-law asked you for money?" I truly didn't expect my mother-in-law to be so shameless as to even set her sights on my parents. My parents have been frugal their whole lives, and that 500,000 yuan is their life savings. On top of that, my parents are in poor health and often have to go to the hospital. For my in-laws to take that money is practically a death sentence for them. At this moment, the last shred of goodwill I had for the Fu family vanished completely. "Since you're so heartless, I no longer need to show you any mercy." To prevent my parents from doing anything to harm themselves again, I told them about my decision to file for divorce. Although it was unexpected, they still supported me without hesitation. After several comparisons, I finally found the right seller. And at the same time, Levi Fu entered the most critical phase of treatment. I brought the agreement to the hospital room. At this moment, Levi Fu was connected to numerous machines, looking completely pale and as if he had lost all hope. In my past life, I was frightened by his condition and frantically raised money for him. But now, seeing him like this, my heart doesn't stir at all. I placed a stack of documents by the bedside. "I've already made the arrangements. Just sign here, and you'll get the money." Levi Fu put on a moved expression and signed his name on it without looking closely. "Rhea, I knew you loved me. Don't worry, I will never let you down in the future." The in-laws and Gu, who were standing outside the door, rushed in. "Rear, I knew you wouldn't give up on our Levi. Please transfer the money to my account. The hospital is waiting for the payment. It's more convenient to leave the money with me. You can go out and work to earn the most money with peace of mind. And we'll handle the hospital matters." I glanced at her and spoke coldly. "You seem to have misunderstood. This is my money. Why should I give it to you?" As soon as I finished speaking, everyone present was stunned. "Dao Dingxiang, Riashan, what do you mean by this? This is Levi's life-saving money. Are you trying to keep it for yourself?" Cough, cough, cough. Levi Fu choked on my words and lay on the bed, coughing violently, his already frail body, weakened by illness, now looked as if it might fall apart at any moment. Gu hurried over to pat his back and help him catch his breath. "Sister-in-law, you're too cruel. Look at what state Levi is in now, and you're still holding on to the money, unwilling to give it up. He's counting on that money to save his life." I watched all of this calmly. "You know exactly what you're scheming. I'm just taking back what I deserve." Fu Liang slammed the table hard. "The house and the car are both from the Fu family. So the money from selling them naturally belongs to us. Now you're trying to pocket it for yourself. Isn't that like wishing for his death? Not to mention we don't agree. Even the law won't allow it. If I take you to court, you'll still have to hand over the money." Levi Fu reached out and grabbed my arm. "Honey, we're husband and wife. After all, I'm about to undergo the second round of surgery soon, and it's exactly when I need the money the most. You can't just stand by and watch me die. I don't want to die yet. Dad is right. Even if you don't consider our years of feelings, taking that money without permission is illegal." I shook off his hand and pulled the divorce agreement out of the stack of documents. "Would you like to see what you just signed?" After carefully reading the document in my hand, everyone present froze in disbelief. Levi Fu widened his eyes and stared in disbelief. You actually tricked me into signing the divorce papers. What have I ever done to wrong you? How did we suddenly reach the point of divorce? Is it just because I'm sick? I truly never expected that after all these years of feelings, you wouldn't even be willing to face such a small test with me. Is our marriage really so fragile?" Levi Fu accused me with tears streaming down his face, as if he had truly suffered a great injustice. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. "Isn't that the case? Do you dare swear that you haven't done anything to wrong me over these years?" As soon as I finished speaking, the expressions on Levi Fu and Jiu Yoyo's faces instantly turned grim, their eyes evasive, completely losing the arrogance they had just moments before. Seeing the tense atmosphere, the mother-in-law immediately stepped in to smooth things over. "Oh, Ria must be joking. Right, how did it get to the point of talking about divorce? You must have had a hard time all these years. If you have any grievances, just tell me, and we'll teach this bad boy a lesson. It's just that he's still seriously ill now, so please don't be angry with him." Gu also chimed in. "That's right, sister-in-law, with Levi in this state. It's really inconsiderate of you to throw a tantrum at a time like this. You should hurry and take out the money. What matters most is treating Levi's illness. If we delay, it could be disastrous." I placed the agreement in my bag and spoke calmly. "I'm not joking, and I'm not throwing a tantrum. Not only am I getting a divorce, but the property division is clearly stated. The money for the house and the car belongs to me. This money has nothing to do with you. Did you hear what I said?" Dao Dingxiang's voice, which had been soft and gentle, suddenly rose by 8 octaves. "What, you want to take all the money? Ria, what has our Fu family ever done to wrong you, that you would want to put Levi to death, all these years? Your father-in-law and I have treated you like our own daughter, and we even agreed when you said you didn't want children. You're still wearing our Fu family heirloom on your hand. How can you be so ungrateful?" I looked at my wrist, where indeed hung the jade bracelet she gave me at our wedding. I once took this as proof of their regard for me, until I saw her purchase record on Daobao for 9 yuan. The Fu family does indeed have an heirloom bracelet, but right now, it's on Fu Ria's wrist. I took off the bracelet and threw it back to her. "I don't care for such things. Better save it for Levi Fu's beloved, don't you think, cousin?" Everyone's faces darkened one after another. Gu, both ashamed and angry, hurriedly hid the bright bracelet on her hand. What nonsense are you talking? My cousin and I, after all, she was still too young. My words had flustered her completely. Seeing that the matter could no longer be hidden, Dao Dingxiang stopped concealing it. Since you already know, we won't hide it from you anymore, but this is only because you refused to have children, and we had no other choice but to do this. Yu doesn't care about status and is willing to continue the Fu family lineage. As a daughter-in-law of the Fu family, you should be grateful that she's taking on the responsibility of bearing children for you. Shouldn't you be thanking her? Our Fu family hasn't even blamed you for being unable to have children. What more do you want? At that moment, Fu Liang, who had been silent all along, suddenly lost his temper. He slammed the table and yelled at me, "Rieshan, is this really the time for you to act out? I don't care what documents or agreements you signed. I don't agree. You need to take out the money right now to treat my son." I laughed. Did he really think he was the head of the household and everyone had to listen to him? I glared back at him without the slightest fear. This marriage, I'm ending it for sure. You have such a cruel heart. Asterisk cough 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 asterisk. The already weak Levi Fu struggled on the bed, pulling on the tubes of the medical equipment attached to him, and began to cough violently. The three immediately rushed forward to surround him. With Jiu Yu repeatedly patting his chest to help him catch his breath, seeing his son in this state, the father-in-law's eyes burned with even greater fury. "Fine, we can get a divorce, but you have to leave the money. This is Levi's life-saving fund. You can't take it away." "That's right, Sister Rhea. Even if you divorce, the assets should be split equally. There's no reason for you to take it all." Jiu Yu looked slightly angry, standing up for Levi Fu. "I really am going to take all of this money. I paid for the house and the car in full, and I've also covered the majority of the household expenses over the years." Meanwhile, Levi Fu's money has been funneled to his parents and Jiu Rhea under various excuses. If they just pooled their resources, covering the medical expenses wouldn't be a problem at all. Now, the moment I take back what's rightfully mine, they start panicking. Why shouldn't I take it? Do you think I don't know how much money Levi Fu has transferred to you all these years? Especially you, Jiu. I have the right to ask for the money spent on you back. You usually spend his money, but now that he's sick, you don't want to contribute a single penny. What kind of logic is that in this world? How dare you? Father-in-law slammed the table hard with a water glass. Who gave you the right to speak to an elder like that? My son spending money on me is only natural. Isn't it? Who are you to lecture me? I shook my head helplessly, really not wanting to argue with these people any further. Levi Fu has already signed the divorce agreement confirming the division of assets. Legally, that property is now mine, and no amount of talking from you will change that. With that, I turned to leave, only to find my mother-in-law blocking the doorway. "Don't you dare leave, hand over the money to save my son right now." With that, my father-in-law and Jiu also closed in on me with angry expressions. At this critical moment, a sharp beep sound shattered the silence. It was Levi Fu's body acting up again, and the three of them hurriedly ran out to find a doctor. I watched Levi Fu convulsing uncontrollably on the hospital bed, left a "serves you right" comment, and then walked out of the hospital. After returning home, I immediately transferred the 500,000 yuan back to my parents and told them not to give any more money to Levi Fu's family under any circumstances. To avoid further trouble from them, I booked an overseas tour and took my parents on a trip. Only when we were finally lying on the soft hotel bed, thousands of miles away from Levi Fu and his family, did I truly break free from the shadows of my past life. I took my parents, who have worked hard all their lives, on a luxurious cruise ship. Chasing whales on the sea and watching the sun dip below the horizon. Although my parents complained about me spending money recklessly, they still enjoyed this relaxing time. Meanwhile, my mother-in-law kept sending me messages non-stop. "Levi Fu is about to have surgery soon. Transfer the money to me right away." Rieshan, Levi Fu is already so sick. How could you bear to run away with the money? Do you want to watch Levi Fu die with your own eyes? I didn't hesitate to delete her chat window. Why should I feel any reluctance? From the moment I discovered the deception in my previous life, I no longer had any love or sympathy for Levi Fu, only hatred. Rarely having the chance to travel abroad, I took my parents to various places every day to experience the local cuisine. Every day was spent in great comfort. I haven't deleted the WeChat contacts of Levi Fu's family. Watching them struggle in pain has become one of my pleasures. At first, they would take turns calling and messaging me, cursing back and forth with words like ungrateful wretch and heartless holds no power over me. Perhaps because I had angered him, Levi Fu's condition became even more severe than in his previous life. My in-laws and Guyu had no choice but to start pooling money to cover the medical expenses. But cancer treatment isn't a small sum, and even after they exhausted their savings, it still wasn't enough. Ria, we've run out of money, for the sake of our past relationship. Please return the money. If that's not possible, let's just split it 50-50. We won't make a big deal out of it anymore. I still deleted the chat and pretended not to see it. Another half a month passed, and Levi Fu's parents' money was completely gone. Even Guyu, who had always stuck by Levi Fu's side, started avoiding them. In the video sent by Mom Fu, Levi Fu looked extremely emaciated. His skin had turned deathly pale. Ria, I'm begging you, please lend us some money. Levi Fu is about to start the next phase of chemotherapy, and we really don't have the money. Levi Fu's father has already gone to find a job, but the pay is simply not enough. We tried to borrow money from others, but we were turned away. We truly have no other options. Seeing these messages, I don't feel pity. Instead, I feel nothing but pure satisfaction. Finally, they get to experience the kind of emotions I went through in my past life. After that, the messages from Aunt Fu became fewer and fewer. From a friend, I learned that to pay for their son's medical treatment, they had to find new jobs, serving dishes, washing dishes, sweeping the streets, and take turns caring for their son in the hospital, so busy they barely had time to catch their breath. As for Guyu, she never appeared again. I thought their feelings for each other were deep, but it seems that wasn't the case when I heard news of them again. Levi Fu had already been discharged from the hospital. I thought my grievances with them would end there, but unexpectedly, I received an invitation from a family mediation TV show. The Levi Fu family went to the television station, accusing me of taking all the money while he was seriously ill. As soon as I got off the plane, I was surrounded by the television crew, who ushered me onto the mediation stage. On the other side of the stage, the Levi Fu family sat on the sofa with sorrowful expressions, as if they had suffered a great injustice. Welcome to the family mediation program. This episode is being broadcast live across the internet, and we encourage viewers to share their thoughts in the live chat, following the host's pointing finger. I finally noticed a large display screen in the audience area, showing the live broadcast of the stage. I chuckled softly. It was just what I had in mind. Auntie Fu, you've asked us to help mediate the conflict between your family and your daughter-in-law. Could you please share with us in detail what exactly is going on? As soon as the host finished speaking, Dao Dingxiang couldn't wait to speak up. My daughter-in-law has no conscience. A while ago, while my son was hospitalized due to illness, she tricked him into signing a divorce agreement and an unfair property division, then took all the family's money and ran off. That was my son's life-saving money. If it weren't for my husband and I borrowing money from everywhere and working multiple jobs, my son might have died on the operating table. Now that my son has recovered, we're left with hundreds of thousands in debt. Host, you must stand up for us and make that wretched woman return my son's money. Dao Dingxiang's voice was filled with sobs, making everyone's heart ache for her. This Riashan is really something else. Daring to take someone's life-saving money. Why isn't she the one who's sick? Exactly. And that person is her husband. Her intentions are just too malicious. Return the money. She must return the money. Host, Riashan, don't you think what you did is a bit too much? Have you ever considered that your actions could lead to Levi Fu's death? The host didn't ask for my opinion and directly concluded the matter. I leaned back and crossed my legs. I know, but I don't think it's excessive. The host was taken aback, clearly not expecting this kind of attitude from me. The audience below erupted into an uproar once again. This person is just too arrogant. How could they do something so heartless? They don't even deserve to be called human. Don't anyone try to stop me. I'm going to rush up there and give her a good beating to vent my anger. Fu Liang was so infuriated by my attitude that he started coughing, yet he didn't dare to lose his temper in front of so many people. Dao Dingxiang quickly patted his back, all the while complaining to me, Ria, We old folks get up before dawn every day to work in order to pay for Levi's treatment, and when we have a moment free, we go to the hospital to take care of him. Our bodies are worn out from exhaustion. And yet you used Levi's money to take your parents on a trip. How can you spend that money with a clear conscience? We're begging you. Please return the money to us, otherwise, at our age, how will we ever be able to pay it back? After saying this, Dao Dingxiang even went so far as to kneel before me, tears falling heavily onto the ground. In an instant, the entire room erupted in an uproar, and a large number of netizens flooded into the live stream, an elder kneeling to a junior, a mother-in-law kneeling to her daughter-in-law. She certainly knows how to wield emotional blackmail with ease, but I remained unmoved, sitting on the sofa and calmly uttering 2 words, "No way." Another commotion erupted in the audience. One aunt even snatched the microphone and passionately confronted me. "Reishan, has your conscience been eaten by a dog? How can you sit there calmly while an elderly person kneels before you? Don't you understand the importance of respecting the elderly and cherishing the young? Have you completely forgotten the traditional virtues of China's 5,000 years of history?" Another uncle also stepped forward. "I'll pay back all the money the Fu family owes, but the money you, Reishan, took from the Fu family must be returned in full, down to the last cent." With this uncle's generous offer, the atmosphere at the scene instantly heated up. The number of people in the live stream is also rapidly increasing. 990,000, 1 million. The public chat was filled with all sorts of accusations against me. I smiled faintly. It was time. It seems everyone is quite interested in this matter. I have a few more secrets about the Fu family that haven't been revealed yet, and I'd like to share them with you. After hearing what I said, the expressions of Levi Fu's family instantly turned panicked. Levi Fu, who had been silent all along, became anxious. "Reishan, what nonsense are you trying to spout again? You're not going to start spreading rumors about me cheating again, are you? I'm warning you, don't say anything without evidence." What a classic case of the guilty party filing the complaint first. I handed a USB drive to the host. "Of course I have evidence. I'm just afraid you won't dare to watch it." The host, half doubting and half believing, inserted the USB drive into the computer, and a video appeared on the large screen. In the video, Levi Fu had his arm around Jiu Yoyo's waist as they walked into a love hotel, the implication of which was unmistakable. At the end of the video, there were also various intimate photos of Fu Qing and Jiu Yuyu. After the video finished playing, I took a stack of documents out of my bag. Over the years, Levi Fu has been cheating on me with Jiu Yuyu. Most of the money he earned was transferred to Jiu Yuyu under various pretexts. I have records of it here. The rest of Levi Fu's money was transferred to his parents. There's not a single penny left in his bank account. I've been responsible for all our living expenses. And I paid for the house and car in full. I'm just taking back my own money. Is there a problem? The host took the materials from my hands and projected them one by one onto the large screen. Faced with this overwhelming array of evidence, the room fell silent for a full half-minute before hushed discussions began to stir. The husband is so outrageous, not only cheating but also not spending a single penny on his wife. Yes, it seems understandable that Reishan wants a divorce. Even so, she shouldn't have taken someone's life-saving money. What could be more important than a human life? Levi Fu lowered his head in shame. Dao Dingxiang, however, didn't feel that her son's actions were wrong in the slightest. "So what? These are all trivial matters. What you did could have cost my son's life. These two things are simply not comparable. To put it bluntly, you're practically committing murder." The host also took her side and criticized me. Dao is right. Even if Mr. Fu was unfaithful and gave the money to his parents, you could have used gentler means to get it back. There was no need to nearly cost him his life. That's right, exactly. A chorus of agreement rose from the audience, and after hearing it, Dao Dingxiang felt even more confident. "Reishan, don't even think about trying any tricks. No matter what you say today, you have to return my money." Ignoring Dao Dingxiang's smug expression, I handed a recording to the host. "Since you refuse to give up, don't blame me for being ruthless." The host clicked play, and the voices of Dao Dingxiang and his wife, along with Levi Fu, echoed through the venue via the loudspeaker. "Levi Fu, the doctor said this illness looks scary, but there's a high chance it can be cured. We can take this opportunity to make Reishan pay up. Once the illness is cured, I'll fake my death. Mom and Dad, you can sue Reishan to get back the money you spent. Squeezing out her last bit of value, then our family can take the money, bring you along, and start a new life. As soon as the recording was played, the entire room erupted once again. What? Did I hear that right? Is this something a human would do? This is just too malicious. If I were Reishan, I would also defend my legitimate rights. Support Reishan. Support Reishan. Fu family. Get out. The uproar from the audience grew louder, and even the host couldn't control it. The man who had just claimed he would repay the Fu family's debt even rushed onto the stage and got into a physical altercation with Levi Fu. I never expected you to be such a scumbag, and I actually wanted to help you just now. Levi Fu took 2 solid punches to the face and slunk off the stage in disgrace. I didn't stay idle during my vacation either. I pulled a lot of strings to get this recording from the hospital's surveillance system and expose the Fu family's misdeeds to the public. Everything that happened at the scene was broadcast live across the country. Major short video accounts all posted about the incident, dominating the top spot on the trending charts for a full week. Netizens have widely condemned their actions, with many even finding the phone numbers of the couple. Levi Fu and Dao Dingxiang. Numerous employers have come forward to declare that they would never hire these 3 individuals. For a time, their family became like a rat crossing the street. Everyone shouted, "Beat it." I looked at the current outcome and smiled with satisfaction. In my previous life, they destroyed my family and ruined my life. Now, I will make you experience the pain of being despised by the world. With the remaining money, I left the city, bought a new house, and moved in with my parents. Even though I had a failed 5-year marriage, I am only 30 now and still have a bright future ahead. As for Levi Fu, his life is completely over. The end. That concludes the first story. Stay tuned. The next one is even more exciting. Bandits raided the village, but my husband, the militia captain, took all the militiamen to the city to watch a movie with his first love. The village chief asked me to bring my husband back, but I refused outright. In my previous life, while pregnant, I rode a fast horse on a shortcut to the city, dragged my husband out of the cinema, and saved the entire village. But his first love was violated by a few escaped bandits and thrown into the woods to be devoured by wolves. The husband hunted down those bandits and locked himself in the room for 3 days and 3 nights. He never mentioned the incident again after coming out. It wasn't until the county appointed me as the women's director, a position once held by my first love. For my bravery in saving lives, on the day I gave birth to our child, my husband dragged my weakened self into the woods. He broke my legs, cut open my stomach, and let the beasts devour my organs. It was you who, for your own selfish gain, colluded with the bandits and caused her death. Since you enjoy imitating her so much, I'll make sure you die the same way she did. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day the bandits entered the village. This time, he wants to protect his white moonlight, so let him be. When the gunshot rang out, I was reborn. I hurriedly rushed outside, and as soon as I opened the door, the village chief ran in. "Mingyang, the bandits are coming. Quickly wake your husband and organize the militia to protect the villagers." Before I could speak, the voice of the village chief's wife came from behind me. "Old Lee, I've searched everywhere. The strong men in the village are all gone. And the guns from the militia office are missing too." Looking up, I saw most of the women in the village following her, their faces filled with fear. The village chief was dumbfounded. Where have they all gone? As the only one who knew the truth, I had to tell them. They were all taken by Shuangsuo to watch a movie with Bai Shui. Nonsense. The village chief frowned. The county just announced that bandits have been roaming the mountains recently and urged the militia to step up patrols. How could they leave their posts to watch a movie? Upon hearing this, several women also cursed Bai Shui for being shameless, luring so many men out. As they spoke, several more gunshots rang out. Everyone screamed. The village chief remained calm in the face of danger. The remaining men in the village, "Go and close the large stone gate first." The women comrades, "Go hide in the tunnel. Don't come out until you hear the voices of our own people." The village has a unique geographical location. There are 2 roads leading into the village. One is the main road that everyone uses on ordinary days, At the entrance of the village stands a large stone gate, left behind by the ancestors. This area has many mountains, impoverished people, and also many bandits. That large stone gate was used to resist bandits. Once closed, it's very hard to open. There is also a path at the back of the mountain. That path is winding and treacherous, and one could easily fall off the mountain if not careful. So even though it's only a half-hour ride on horseback to the county town, no one usually takes that route. After explaining this, the village chief looked at me and said, "Mingyang, you know how to ride a horse, and you've taken that small path before. Hurry and go through the back mountain trail, find your husband, and have him bring the militia back to save everyone." I bit my lip and replied, "Chief, it's not that I don't want to go, but I'm afraid even if I go, Shuangsuo won't come back." As soon as these words were spoken, everyone fell silent. Ever since Bai Shui came to our village as the women's director, my husband's eyes have been glued to her. Everyone in the village knows that we argue every day because of her, just as my face was about to burn under everyone's gaze. My sister-in-law came to my rescue. "I'll go. I've been on that road before, and besides, my sister-in-law is pregnant. We shouldn't risk her slipping because of this. The fetus is gone." The village chief had just nodded when the sister-in-law eagerly went home to ride her horse and leave. The village chief's wife then led us into the tunnel to wait for rescue. An hour and a half later, my sister-in-law returned. When she appeared at the entrance of the tunnel, everyone cheered, thinking the militiamen had all come back, but she said with a pale face, "The men are unwilling to return." Everyone was dumbfounded. Why? My sister-in-law's tears fell. They said I was spreading rumors. Especially my brother, who accused me of conspiring with his wife to deceive everyone. I even knelt on the ground, but they scolded me, calling me shameless. She must have suffered immense grievances. And after saying this, she cried even louder. Everyone was affected by her emotions. And they all began to curse Snow White as a troublemaker. She's called the women's director, but she doesn't help women at all. All she does is spend her time flirting with those men. Before she could finish scolding, a loud boom was heard from outside. Everyone stood up, unsure of what had happened. The village chief appeared at the tunnel entrance and told everyone that the bandits had brought landmines and were planning to blow open the large stone gate. "What should we do?" someone asked in a tearful voice. "Are we going to die here?" Looking at the fearful expressions on everyone's faces, I thought for a moment, if our village militia doesn't return, we can go find other village militias. I'll go find them. My sister-in-law didn't even wipe her tears and insisted on leaving immediately. But soon, everyone noticed that she was limping. After forcing her to sit down, they pulled up her pant legs. Both of her calves were swollen like steamed buns. She then admitted with embarrassment that she had been riding too fast and had accidentally fallen off the horse. "It's okay, I can still walk." My sister-in-law was determined to save everyone and struggled to stand up. I held her down firmly. "Don't go, I'll go." Ignoring everyone's attempts to stop me, I mounted the horse. The village chief ran after me. "Mingyang, you must find someone within 2 hours. The great stone gate won't hold for much longer." I nodded firmly. Halfway down the road, someone rushed out from the side. I reined in my horse just in time. Upon seeing the person standing there, my eyes lit up. It was none other than Ji Dafu, the militia captain from the neighboring village. I quickly dismounted and exclaimed with delight, "Dafu, what are you doing here?" I was just about to talk about the situation in the village. He suddenly grabbed my arm and restrained me. Ji Dafu sneered. "Waiting to catch you." My arm went numb. "What do you mean? You're not going to look for the bandits, are you?" Ji Dafu looked at me with disgust. "Your man came to me early this morning and told me to wait for you here, saying you would definitely take this path to find the bandits." Wu Mingyang, your father was a hero who fought bandits, yet you, out of jealousy, collaborate with the bandits. You're really shaming him. My mind went blank. It was clearly in Chinese. But it took me a while to realize what he meant. In my previous life, when Zhong Shuangsuo killed me, he said the same thing. He claimed that I had called the bandits into the village just to gain merit and seize Bai Shui's position as the women's director. He accused me of ordering the bandits to violate Bai Shui. I realized in an instant that, in all likelihood, Zhong Shuangsuo had also been reborn, so no matter how my sister-in-law pleaded, he wouldn't come back. But I never expected him to be so ruthless. cutting off the only path I had to seek help. Without time to respond to the accusations he hurled at me, I lowered my posture and said, "Dafu, I'm not colluding with bandits. I came here because bandits have entered our village, and they're using explosives to blow up the stone gate. All the village militia were taken by Zhong Shuangsuo to watch a movie with Bai Shui. Quick, organize your village militia to come to our village and save us. If we're too late, the whole village will be gone." Perhaps my expression was too serious. Ji Dafu froze for a few seconds. Soon he burst into laughter. "Wu Mingyang, you're quite the actor. I almost believed you, but you actually said Shuang." Locke neglected his duty by taking a group of militiamen to watch a movie with a woman. This is just too unbelievable. I know Shuang Suo all too well. With such a strong sense of responsibility and being a retired veteran, how could he lack such awareness? Yes, facing his ridicule, my heart felt as if it were being torn apart. "I'm serious. You can go and see for yourself if you don't believe me. It seems to me you're trying to trick me into leaving so you can go find the bandits yourself." Ji Dafu waved his hand and said to me with a serious expression, "Wu Mingyang, don't persist in your foolish ways. Do you know why I'm standing here alone? It's because Shuangsuo asked me to persuade you to turn back from your wrong path. He loves you. Otherwise, he would have reported this to the police station long ago, and you would have been arrested. Zhong Shuangsuo loves me." Before the appearance of Bai Shui, I believed in this saying. He and his sister-in-law were rescued by my father from a bandit den. At that time, his parents had both been killed by the bandits. When he came to our home, he was only 10 years old. We grew up together as childhood sweethearts. When he was 16, my father was killed in retaliation by the bandits. And on his deathbed, he entrusted me to him. He agreed. Later, he decided to join the military and asked me to wait for him. He served for 5 years, and I waited for him all that time, taking care of his younger sister. After he returned, we got married, but his attitude towards me has always been lukewarm. Everyone told me that because we've known each other for so long, it's just how old married couples are. Boring. I believed it. It wasn't until Bai Shui appeared that I realized Zhong Shuangsuo's eyes could also light up. He would help her with farm work, stare at her in a dress for a long time, and even secretly save money to buy her snowflake cream. Thinking of these, my heart aches once again. But now is not the time to be sad over trivial matters of love. Since Ji Dafu is not willing to help, then I'll go a bit farther. There's a military outpost 20 kilometers away. My horsemanship is better than that of men. As long as I ride fast, I can definitely get there within an hour. The village can still be saved. I was about to mount the horse, but was once again seized by Ji Dafu. "Are you going to look for the bandits? If you won't save it, I'll find someone else." I struggled to free my arm. "Get away from me. You are not allowed to go." Ji Dafu exerted force, and my arm was dislocated. He took out a rope, tied me up, and dragged me toward his village. I was so anxious I was about to cry. "Ji Dafu, let me go quickly. I need to save everyone. Stop talking nonsense." Ji Dafu lifted me onto the horse. "With me here, you're not going anywhere today." He led the horse toward his own village. Just as they reached the village entrance, he saw several members of his militia running out with guns. Ji Dafu quickly asked what was happening. "Someone saw Shemen village surrounded by bandits. We need to go save them." Ji Dafu's face turned pale when the group rushed to Shemen village. They were all dumbfounded. The large stone gate had been blown open with explosives. The bandits have disappeared without a trace. The village chief and several elderly men lay dead on the ground. It was clear that a fierce battle had taken place here. Tears fell from my eyes as I saw the bloodshed on the ground. In the end, it was still a step too late. Ji Dafu trembled all over at the sight of this scene. The faces of the other militiamen also turned grim. After making a round of inspection, they found that all the dead were men, with no women among them. He turned back and asked me where the tunnel was. "When there's trouble, the men step up, and the women hide in the tunnel. This is the consensus of several villages." I pointed to the location. When the tunnel entrance was opened, everyone was shocked once again. Everyone was gone. Damn it, they must have been taken by the bandits. These ruthless bandits, taking so many women away. What are they planning to do? What else can we do but sell? In this era, women are more valuable than men. Everyone thought of those outcomes and angrily kicked the wall a few times. I was utterly heartbroken. At that moment, Ji Dafu, who had been silent all along, suddenly grabbed my collar and shouted, "Where did the bandits go?" I shook my head, "I don't know." The others were also startled by his appearance and came over to take his hand. "Dafu, what are you talking about? How would she know where the bandits went?" "I know, we should still go to the police station. She's in cahoots with the bandits." At Ji Dafu's roar, everyone's expressions changed, my heart sank, and I quickly defended myself. "No, no, I'm not, you still dare to lie." Ji Dafu, furious and flustered, raised his hand and slapped me across the face. "How long are you going to keep pretending to be innocent? Wait, these are hundreds of lives at stake. Quickly tell us where you've hidden them." The remaining militiamen looked at me with hostility, their expressions filled with hatred. "How could there be such a heartless woman like you? Shemen village has treated you well, hasn't it? How can you harm others like this without fearing divine retribution? Confess quickly, there's still time to catch up with them." "I don't know. I really don't know." My face was burning with pain, and my voice had turned hoarse. A sense of despair washed over me. "I don't understand what I need to do to make these people believe me. If only the bandits were people I knew, then I could find those villagers." My tears, in Ji Dafu's eyes, were nothing but a pretense. His eyes were bloodshot, and he was furious. He lifted his foot and kicked me in the stomach. "You bitch, go to hell." My lower abdomen tightened, and the pain left my entire body weak and limp. I felt a warm flow coming from my lower body. Before I could see what it was, more kicks landed on me. They cursed me, saying I was inhuman and utterly heartless. Faced with these accusations, I was in too much pain to argue back. The warm current was still washing over my legs. I knew it was nothing else but my child. Just when I thought I would be kicked to death by these people, a voice came. "Stop." Those people stopped. Someone rushed over and hugged me. I smelled her scent. It was my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law's tears fell. "What right do you have to hit my sister-in-law?" Ji Dafu's voice was hoarse. "Shuangshu, don't defend her anymore. It was her who brought the bandits here." "Impossible," the sister-in-law shouted loudly. "Ji Dafu, do you even know who the bandit that came here is? It's Yang Yunqing." The moment the name was mentioned, everyone was stunned. Yang Yunqing was no ordinary person. He was the notorious bandit my father had once subdued. Back in the day, my father worked undercover in his bandit den and single-handedly destroyed his life's work. Yang Yunqing lost an arm because of my father, and his wife and child died at my father's hands. He once vowed that he would eventually wipe out my entire family, so even if I were willing to collude with Yang Yunqing saw me for the first time, he would only shoot me dead with a single shot. At the same time, chaotic footsteps sounded from behind. Zhong Shuangsuo's voice reached my ears. What is going on?" Looking back, all the men in the village had returned. Seeing the scattered corpses, everyone turned pale, especially after learning that their wives had been taken by bandits. The men went mad with rage. "Zhong Shuangsuo, didn't you say there were no bandits and told us not to worry? What on earth happened? How could my father have died?" The village chief's son was the most agitated. With red eyes, he grabbed Zhong Shuangsuo by the collar, as if he wanted to devour him whole. Bai Shui stood by Zhong Shuangsuo's side, defending him. "Brother Li, it's not Shuangsuo who brought these bandits here. The most urgent thing now is to find the remaining people." The village chief's son wiped away his tears and went with a few others to the county police station to report the incident. The bandits left with so many people, it was impossible not to attract attention. Some of the remaining men went to nearby villages to ask if there were any witnesses. Ji Dafu began to deal with the bodies of the village chief and the others. Zhong Shuangsu remained standing in place, looking deeply regretful. Bai Shui comforted him. "Shuangsuo, don't blame yourself too much. This can only be blamed on the bandits. But our village is so poor, why would they? How could they have found our village?" Bai Shui's words struck a chord with Zhong Shuangsuo. "I am lying on the ground right now, and the pain in my lower abdomen is getting worse." My sister-in-law noticed something was off with my expression and asked me what was wrong. Before I could speak, Zhong Shuangsuo strode over and stomped his foot on my chest. My sister-in-law gasped, "Brother, are you crazy? Sister-in-law is injured. She doesn't deserve to be your sister-in-law." Zhong Shuangsuo glared angrily. "Wu Mingyang, you've really let me down. I've already let Dafu. I went to stop you. And you still managed to bring them here. Brother, what nonsense are you talking? It wasn't sister-in-law who brought these bandits here. Ji Dafu also ran over, his face full of guilt. Yes, Shuangsuo, the bandits definitely have nothing to do with Mingyang. Enough, Zhong Shuangsuo roared. What kind of spell has she cast on you all, making you speak for her like this? This is a matter of 10 living human lives. Bai Shui covered her mouth. Mingyang, it was really you who did it. Why would you do this? Is it because you were jealous of me and Shuangsuo? But we are truly innocent. We are just revolutionary comrades. Don't you dare insult the term revolutionary comrades, the sister-in-law spoke up righteously, who can't see the feelings you have for my brother. She's a homewrecker. Shut up, Zhong Shuangsuo roared in fury, slapping his sister-in-law across the face. What did Wu Mingyang give you to make you say such things? Could it be that? He narrowed his eyes. Are you involved with this bandit too? My sister-in-law was about to faint from anger. Brother, what nonsense are you talking? Do you know this bandit is? Captain, the two were interrupted by two people rushing in. Someone said they saw the bandits fleeing to the west. To the west, there was a mountain with treacherous terrain, and it wasn't far away. With so many people, they must have fled into the mountains. Zhong Shuangsuo immediately picked up his gun. Follow me. As he was leaving, he glanced back at me. Wu Mingyang, I'll settle the score with you when I get back. Sister-in-law, don't pay him any mind. Once he sees Yang Yunqing, he'll know it wasn't you who did it. My sister-in-law's words offered me no comfort at all. The government has been searching for Yang Yunqing for so many years and still hasn't found him. They didn't catch him in the previous life. Will they catch him in this one? A sharp pain in my abdomen interrupted my thoughts, and I asked my sister-in-law to help me up. Her own leg was injured, and despite her efforts, she couldn't move me an inch. Ji Dafu, quickly help my sister-in-law up. At the sister-in-law's command, Ji Dafu rushed over. He grabbed me by both arms and lifted me up. Mingyang. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have. His voice trailed off abruptly upon seeing the large pool of dark blood on the ground. How could there be so much blood? At that moment, I didn't even get to see how large the pool of blood was that had shocked them so much, because I had used up the last of my strength. Everything went black before my eyes, and I fainted. When I woke up, I was already in the hospital. I was alone in the hospital room. Outside, my sister-in-law was arguing with Ji Dafu. My sister-in-law finally got pregnant, and you kicked the baby out of her. You really are a beast. Ji Da's voice was hoarse. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I looked down at my flat stomach. Although I had long felt that this child had left me, I still couldn't accept the fact at this moment. Zhong Shuangsuo, my sister-in-law, and I could all be called orphans. The three of us grew up relying on each other for survival. We comforted each other yet yearned deeply for family affection. On the day I found out I was pregnant, Zhong Shuangsuo was so overjoyed he could barely speak. He rode his horse to the county town and bought me 2 pounds of meat, saying I was the family's great hero. That was the best meat I have ever eaten. At that time, I truly believed that having this child would change the relationship between me and Zhong Shuangsuo. However, in my previous life, after the child was born, Zhong Shuangsuo only took one look and gave the child away, ignoring my cries. He dragged me to the forest where Bai Shui had died and forcibly cut open my stomach. Memories flood my mind. I hear the sound of a knife cutting through skin. I can't help but shiver. Sister-in-law, what's wrong with you? My sister-in-law's voice brought me back to reality. Looking up, I saw Ji Dafu standing before me with red, swollen eyes. Was he actually crying? Not only was he crying, but the next second, Ji Dafu knelt down before me. Mingyang, it's all my fault that your child was harmed. Hit me, scold me, do whatever you need to vent your anger. I'm willing to do anything, even serve you like a beast of burden, if it helps you feel better. Ji Dafu and Zhong Suosuo were once classmates, known for their integrity and warmth. When Zhong Suosuo went to serve in the military, he looked out for me quite a bit. Even during the busy farming season, he would finish the work in my family's fields before tending to his own. I have always respected him like an older brother. Otherwise, Zhong Shuangsuo wouldn't have sent him to persuade me. I sighed. Dafu, it's all right. I know you were just anxious, but you used the wrong approach. Hearing my words, Ji Dafu felt even more guilty. He raised his hand and slapped himself several times. Mingyang, just blame me. The more you don't blame me, The worse I feel inside, I know, with his temperament, after seeing that pool of my blood, this knot in his heart will stay with him for the rest of his life. I don't know what to say to comfort him. After all, I'm also very sad. Da Fu, I called out to him. Can you do me a favor? Go ahead, go to the county and file a complaint for me, I said gravely. Zhong Shuangsuo, the captain of the militia team in Shemen village, neglected his duties during his tenure, taking the militia to watch a movie with his sweetheart, which resulted in the deaths of more than a dozen people in Shemen village and the capture of female comrades. Ji Dafu and his sister-in-law both widened their eyes. Just when I thought they would speak up for Zhong Shuangsuo, Ji Dafu nodded heavily. All right, I'll go now. After he left, the room fell silent. My sister-in-law poured me a cup of hot water. I took it and couldn't help but say, Shuangshu, you don't blame me, do you? My sister-in-law answered evasively, Sister-in-law, do you know how I managed to stay? It was after I left that the village sisters-in-law discovered she hadn't just broken her leg, there was a long wound on her back from a tree branch, with blood trickling out, which was quite frightening. The village doctor in our village said it wouldn't do to see her like this. If it continued, it would get infected. So, risking her life, she took her sister-in-law back to her own home to apply medicine. In that brief moment, the bandits opened the large stone gate, door-to-door search. When they searched the village doctor's house, the sister-in-law accidentally made a sound. To protect her, the village doctor rushed out. The sister-in-law's face was covered in tears. Those beasts violated her right in front of me. Even though she was clearly in so much pain, not a single word was spoken. It was also at that moment that she caught sight of Yang Shanqing. She had spent 10 months in Yang Shanqing's stronghold. She would recognize that face even if it were reduced to ashes. My sister-in-law trembled and sobbed in my arms. Sister-in-law, those bandits are nothing but a ragtag bunch. If only my brother had brought his men back sooner. Come, the doctor wouldn't have been harmed, the village chief and the others wouldn't have died. You did the right thing. Your brother was just negligent. I held her and also shed tears. My sister-in-law could understand, but unfortunately, some people just can't. That day, Zhong Suo stormed into my hospital room angrily. Wu Mingyang. What do you mean by sending Ji Dafu to the county to report me? Do you have any idea how close I was to finding those bandits? Only then did I realize that Zhong Shuangsuo had spent the entire day searching the mountain. Just as he finally found a few clues, someone else took over the matter. He was publicly criticized by his superiors for being thoughtless, stripped of his position as team leader, and forbidden from handling the matter any further. He drove him and Snow White straight down the mountain. How vicious your thoughts are, to interfere in this matter with such methods. He lifted me from the sickbed, looking as if he could hardly wait to devour me. I hadn't even spoken yet. Bai Shuer also came in from outside. Mingyang, you are really too unreasonable. By doing this, you not only ruined Shuangsuo's future, but also harmed everyone in the village. Who else but him can find that gang of bandits? The two of them kept shifting the blame onto me. I sneered. Zhong Shuangsuo, was it me who stopped you from coming back to save the villagers? Back then, Shuangshu even knelt down to beg you. So why, not coming back, now that the higher-ups are blaming us, you're pushing all the responsibility onto me? Isn't that just unreasonable? You still have the nerve to say that. Zhong Shuangsuo grabbed me by the neck. If it weren't for you bringing these bandits here, how could the village have ended up like this? Now everyone's fate is uncertain, and you still have the heart to pretend to be sick. He flung his hand away. I was thrown heavily to the ground. My tailbone hit the ground, and the pain shot up my spine to the top of my head. At that moment, my sister-in-law rushed back. Sister-in-law. She rushed over and slapped Zhong Shuangsuo directly. Zhong Shuangsuo, are you crazy? Zhong Shuangshu, you're joining in her nonsense too. Do you also have ties with the bandits? Ties with your mother? The sister-in-law couldn't hold back any longer. Do you even know who that bandit is? That's Yang Yunqing. As soon as that name was spoken, the entire room fell silent. Zhong Shuangsuo seemed as if someone had hit his death point. Even his breathing stopped. Yang Yunqing. The murderer of our 3 fathers and mothers. Even if I were really involved with bandits, I wouldn't seek out this person. A few moments later, Zhong Shuangsuo's face seemed about to crack. How is this possible? It's true. My sister-in-law's tears fell again. I saw his face with my own eyes. brother. Yang Yunqing must have come back for revenge. So, brother, now you know, this matter definitely has nothing to do with sister-in-law, my sister-in-law said, standing up for me. Listen less to those vile people in daily life, and don't blame your sister-in-law without knowing the facts. Because of this, her child has been, you got kicked out, and you didn't even say a word of concern. What? Zhong Shuangsuo's face turned pale again. The child is gone. He looked at me, his eyes filled with disbelief. I looked down at my lower abdomen, which was now flat. At this moment, Bai Shui stepped forward. It's all my fault, Shuangsuo. If I hadn't insisted on going to the movies, this wouldn't have happened. I am the sinner who harmed both of your children. As soon as she started crying, Zhong Shuangsuo immediately felt heartbroken. This has nothing to do with you. If anyone is to blame, it's her for not protecting the child. Every word he said to comfort Snow was like a knife, stabbing straight into my heart. Even my sister-in-law couldn't stand it anymore. Brother, is that any way to talk? Sister-in-law lost her child while trying to save someone. Claiming to save someone. Who knows what she was really thinking, Zhong Shuangsuo said with a look of disgust. Wu Mingyang, you did that out of jealousy. So many outrageous things. Even if you didn't collude with Yang Qingshan, he was still brought here by you. I can't take it anymore, Zhong Shuangsuo. You always say I bully Bai Shui, so let me ask you, what exactly have I done to bully her? Done. Zhong Shuangsuo took a deep breath. Since you want to bring up old grievances, then let me ask you, why did you make all the women in the village isolate her? This is truly baffling. So much so that I thought about it for a long time and still couldn't figure out who exactly isolated her. Instead, it was the sister-in-law who jumped in. Who's isolating her? She simply doesn't deign to talk to us women. She only likes talking to men. People play. Shuangshu, how could you slander my innocence like that? Bai Shui was displeased upon hearing this and tugged at Zhong Shuangsuo's sleeve. Corner, double lock, it seems they still don't welcome me. I should go back. With the lesson from the previous life, how could Zhong Shuangsuo bear to let her go alone? He immediately offered to accompany her back. Just as the two of them reached the entrance, two people in uniforms blocked their way. One of them was an acquaintance of Zhong Shuangsuo, who asked right away, Shuangsuo, where is that woman named Bai Shui from your village? Someone said I came to the hospital with you. These two police officers look very fierce. After making eye contact with the two, Bai Shui couldn't help but tremble. Zhong Shuangsuo stepped in front of her and asked, weren't you supposed to be fighting bandits in the mountains? What do you want with her? We've captured Yang Yunqing. The man exclaimed excitedly. According to his subordinates, this time it was Yang Yunqing's small. The clue provided by the wife is that his mistress is Bai Shui, the women's director of your village. Zhong Shuangsuo's entire body stiffened. Are you mistaken? Not mistaken. He was told that Yang Yunqing and the others had originally intended to sell the women from our village. Unexpectedly, the women from our village started to resist halfway. Coming from farming backgrounds, everyone thought that since it was a matter of life or death anyway, they might as well fight back. By the time they arrived, Yang Yunqing was almost beaten to death by several people. Yang Yunqing's newly recruited underlings were all cowards who feared death. As soon as they were questioned, they confessed everything without hesitation. After Yang Yunqing fled that year, he wandered from place to place. 5 years ago, he met Bai Shui. Bai Shui was drawn to his roguish charm and was determined to marry him. Later, when we learned that Yang Yunqing was looking for us again, Bai Shui used her connections to get into the government. Back then, to protect us, the organization concealed our family's information. They changed our names and sent us to Shemen village. Bai Shui searched through the archives for a long time and actually managed to find all of our files. I went through a lot of trouble to get myself appointed as the women's director. During that time, she deliberately got close to Zhong Shuangsuo, just waiting for this day, to let Yang Yunqing take revenge and also make a profit. They were about to go abroad and live it up. Upon hearing the truth, Zhong Shuangsuo's legs went weak. The people around him supported him. What's wrong with you? Zhong Shuangsuo turned his head and asked Bai Shui, is everything he said true? No, I don't know any Yang Yunqing. Bai Shui shook her head like a rattledrum. Shuangsuo, believe me, this doesn't make, it must be Mingyang's trap again. How would I know that bandit? I let out a cold laugh. if Zhong Shuangsuo still believed her nonsense by now, then he wouldn't deserve to be a man. Zhong Shuangsuo indeed did not believe it, but he couldn't accept it right away either. Taking advantage of the other's inattention, Bai Shui dashed out like a rabbit. Unfortunately, the people behind her were all trained professionals, and she was quickly apprehended by 2 police officers and handcuffed. Both Bai Shui and Zhong Suo were taken away. The 2 of them are to undergo investigation, because it involved the notorious bandit Yang Yunqing. The county authorities took the matter very seriously. This case has been under review for nearly half a year, and it has finally been clarified that Zhong Suo was also deceived. He had no connection whatsoever with Yang Yunqing. Both Yang Yunqing and Bai Shui were sentenced to death. On the day Zhong Suo was released, my sister-in-law and I went to pick him up. It's been almost half a year since we last met. His hair has turned white, and he's so thin he barely looks like himself. Once such a flamboyant person, he now hunches his back and looks utterly lacking in confidence. He didn't expect me to come and was quite surprised to see me. "Mingyang, how have you been lately?" I said. "Not too bad." My sister-in-law and I took him to get a bath, changed his clothes, and then went to a state-run restaurant for a meal. During the meal, my sister-in-law noticed that he had something to say to me and found an excuse to step out. "Mingyang." After a long wait, Zhong Shuangsuo's heavy voice broke the silence. "I'm sorry, I was blinded by Bai Shui at the time. I should have brought them back, so no one would have gotten hurt." "Mingyang, I've been thinking a lot these days, and I've been remembering many things from our childhood. Back then, you were always so good to me, but I took all that kindness for granted. I'm sorry for what I did to you and to our child. From now on, I will live a good life with you, and we can have another child." As he said this, Zhong Shuangsuo's eyes were red, filled with sincerity. Having known him for so many years, how could I not tell that his remorse was genuine? However, I smiled and said to him, "Zhong Shuangsuo, let's get a divorce." Zhong Shuangsuo's expression instantly froze, and it took him a long time to utter, "No, don't, Mingyang, I've already said, this is all, the conspiracy of Snow White. If I could do it all over again, I would definitely come back to save you." I stared at his face. "It has already happened again, hasn't it?" Zhong Shuangsuo's eyes widened. Right. I've been reborn too." I poured myself a glass of water, "so I don't need to remind you what you did to me in the previous life." "Bah." Zhong Shuangsuo's face was ashen. He raised a cup of water and splashed it on his own face. He smiled bitterly and said, "Heaven is truly fair, Mingyang. In fact, I loved you in my past life too, but by the time I found Bai Shui, at the time, we caught a remnant bandit who said that all of this was done by you. I had already suspected this matter." Zhong Shuangsuo, even if he is confused, is someone who has received a national education and would not kill without reason. In the end, it all comes down to him not trusting me. Lack of trust between a couple is more terrifying than lack of love, especially since we've known each other for so many years. I asked him, "My father and mother both died at the hands of bandits. Even if I, Wu Mingyang, were to starve to death, I would never collude with bandits. Zhong Suo, you've let me down so much." His lips moved. In the end, he only said, "I'm sorry, it's okay." I took a deep breath, because I don't intend to forgive you. In the end, I still divorced Zhong Shuangsuo. After completing the formalities, I boarded the train heading south. I heard that the country was undergoing reform and opening up there, and I was ready to give it a try. That venture lasted 5 years. I caught the fast train of the era and made a fortune. When I returned home in glory, I learned of Zhong Shuangsuo's fate. He was dead, died while suppressing bandits, just like my father. That's all for today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave a comment below. See you in the next video.